Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, June 16th, and we're just hanging out. It's a Friday, and just getting settled in for the weekend. So lots of big moves. Adobe's still going up. Very nice.
Yeah, my strike was 500 and it went past 513 last I saw.
Very nice. I'm seeing 514.50 now, so just getting better by the second.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully a big position.
So I had some calls earlier in the week that was pretty big. I made like 5K on it, and then I closed it. But then I was like getting FOMO, so I opened one more contract, and the premium was getting pretty high, so I didn't buy more than one. But it's probably gonna get me like another 2K.
Oh, that is beautiful to hear. Chat, can we get a round of applause for Rylar?
Yeah, after my losses with Lulu and Ulta, I'm really happy to see these.
Yep. Wow, everyone's upgrading Adobe.
And the funny thing is, so I went against Human Genome. Unfortunately, he was buying puts on them, but he had a good thesis of why. It was a surprise beat, I guess.
Oh, it wasn't a surprise, but if you look at they went up. They went up based on their earnings, and they beat all the way around, but they didn't have the kind of gap up that Nvidia did, which I didn't expect them to either, because they're not. They're sort of playing in a different ball game than Nvidia does. Now, it doesn't mean that they can't make decent EPS and they can't make decent revenue, but they're not in the same league as like an Nvidia when it comes to AI.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Just want to say really quickly, Genome, that is a perfect opportunity with that thesis for a ratio spread. Just so you know for next time.
Cool. Thank you for that. Yeah, I had two. I had two. I had two puts at 362.50. Obviously, those are worthless, but they were also very cheap. So I'm not worried about it. It was just a lottery ticket.
If you have the time, try and take that and throw it into a calculator, and then experiment with what would happen if you had legged into a ratio put spread and take a look to back test. It'd be kind of interesting.
Awesome, man. Thank you. So in other news, I posted a link to the article. BlackRock is planning on launching a Bitcoin ETF, and they're using Coinbase as the custodian for the Bitcoin. Overall, if you look at the big picture on Coinbase, I think finally the various government agencies are starting to take Bitcoin seriously, and they're starting to think about regulating it, as well as the governments at the federal and at the state level. So as far as I'm concerned, to me that helps to legitimatize Bitcoin, and it gives it more credibility. I like the fact that BlackRock is getting involved with it.
Yeah, I agree. Although it does seem like free money for BlackRock. Current
ETF with inflows these days is free money.
Yeah. Oh, markets are closed for Juneteenth. What day is that?
Monday, long weekend. Theta.
3-day weekend.
Oh, thank you guys for letting me know.
Definitely consider that heavily with your positions going forward short term.
Yep. So today I'm losing, a number of my shares are being called away. My Carnival shares are being called away as a result of selling covered calls. Ford shares are being called away. SoFi shares are being called away. And there's one or two others. But I'm happy because I'm glad to get out of those positions. I'm looking to stack up on dry powder and get ready for a little bit of a pullback and then get back in. So this uptrend in the market is helping me to liquidate my positions and do that.
Let's talk space. Virgin Galactic, ticker SPACE, SPCE, announcing the beginning of commercial space flight. A long promised thing from Virgin Galactic. They're now beginning commercial space flight. Stock is up 44% pre-market. Yesterday, Jim Cramer said to avoid this one. Probably why it's up 44% this morning. Keep in mind, though, Richard Branson did heroically dilute the stock. I mean, he diluted it in a way that would have made AMC holders proud. He diluted the shit out of this thing in 2021. However, in an earlier talk, Nervous brought up that one of the reasons that he did that dilution was that Virgin Galactic was facing bankruptcy and they needed that for recapitalization. So that did save the company, but it was massive shareholder dilution right after their first successful flight. I believe that was in 2021. So going long on space, but keep an eye on it because you could get diluted by Sir Richard Branson, in which case it would be devastating.
Just
That was funny.
Addendum to that, Scald. So for anyone who is noticing all of these large space things going on, I highly recommend looking around the 3D printing environments, as well as Gino knows, the providers of transmissions and axles for vehicles for space that are terrestrial.
Yes. Allison. ALSN. Thank you again for that.
Also 3D printers. I am not certain of any public ones, unfortunately. BBLI out of Norway for private, and Icon out of Austin for private investment. But if you can find some public ones, I would highly recommend looking at that for the future labs and colony prototypes, not actually colonization, with all the space stuff going on.
Nice. And it looks like Rocket Lab is up this morning in sympathy with SPCE. Rocket Labs is going to open at $5.90. It closed yesterday at around $5.70 or $5.67 rather. So it's up nicely this morning as well if you're into in the Rocket Lab play.
Bitcoin, BBL.I is the name of the company. They are not listed on any exchange. They are going to be doing a capital raise for a second or third round of funding eventually in the next 2 years. I've been made aware, but it is a private accredited only thing. That's why I'm saying if anybody can find a public company that has access to the large amounts of space programs that are ongoing for contracting to 3D printers would be interesting. I just figured Gino might be pretty good about that. No problem, Big Kern.
Yeah, for those of you that have been on the calls for a while, you will remember there's some talk in the comments. You'll remember when I talked about the iRobot Amazon merger. and how the iRobot stock was trading at a cheap discount, and you could buy it and hold it and wait for EU regulators to come around. Well, it took about 5 months, but it's happened as of this morning. So those of you that held iRobot shares, we have a nice little moonshot going on this morning. Keep an eye on it. I'm probably going to sell out at least of half my position to get my money back. Take half on a double and go from there.
Followed you on that one, Skull. Thank you very much for that. That was an awesome suggestion.
Yeah, congrats. I remember you saying that, but I'm sorry I didn't follow the play.
Skull, definitely take a look at what I Can't Read My User just posted if you're not familiar with the Fossil-Wisky thing for space as well. I would love to hear your take on it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I would just love to hear your take on it eventually on what you think on Wisky.
Oh, what's the ticker again?
WKEY.
WKEY. Let me take a look at this guy.
About 5 up from the current message. I Can't Read My User posted a link to the Geneva merger or the Geneva contract going on right now. Via SpaceX, I believe.
Wow, they're a very tiny micro cap ADR. Of course, they're up 83% over the last 6 months. That's nice. Jeez.
Acquisition made. But it's one of those rare things that gives you cheap exposure to SpaceX with public investment.
Very interesting. I think with Virgin Galactic doing this, looking at Rocket Labs, Astrospace, maybe the entire private space industry is going to heat up a little bit.
What's that ETF? Do you know offhand? There's a decently liquid space ETF, I believe.
Are you talking about UFO?
I'm actually not certain. It's not something that
okay. That one is the Procure Space ETF. I don't know how much volume it gets, but it has a nice ticker name.
Okay. What you got for us?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Okay, Max Q. So, Maritime Launch Services. I just bring this up because I've said this on the call before, but since we're bringing up the space plays, I'm long on Maritime Launch Services. The ticker in Canada is MAXQ. I think it's MaxQF on over the counter in the United States. It's got currently a market cap of only around 80 million. I think it's 20 cents Canadian is what trade share price is right now. They are building a spaceport in Canso, Nova Scotia. I live actually right there. And they plan on doing 8 to 12 launches per year, and each launch is going to generate an approximate revenue of $45 million. The Canadian federal government has recently gotten on board in the last few months, and a potential near-term catalyst is they're doing a suborbital launch demonstration at some point this summer. They have not announced a date for it yet, but that's what they said a few months ago. Yeah, I got 1,100 shares, and I got in for 13 cents Canadian, and they're currently trading around 20 cents Canadian. So about 50% profit off of that for me so far, and I expect it to go to $1 plus easy.
Did I just walk into someone speaking about Rocket Lab?
No, Maritime Launch Services. They're a Canadian spaceport company in the construction phase.
With, if I remember,
Interesting.
strong link to a prior government defense contractor who is a military attaché for the U.S. Very similar to the other Halifax shipbuilding company, Precision.
Oh, the Rocket Lab was mentioned a little bit ago, yes.
Good morning.
Morning.
I got a play that I entered into yesterday because I like to buy and hold dumb shit in my retirement account. I heard about the dip in UNH and I bought that shit. Also with some bud, the same amount of UNH and the same amount of bud. The thesis being that people are just going to get gayer and drink more alcohol, and the consequence of that is needing more healthcare. So yeah, that's that.
All right.
What about the cocaine and hookers?
Long Rick, R-I-C-K. Here, I should disclose that I am biased.
Oh.
For those following me on the Russell play, yes, I'm still holding my puts. I have not fully committed capital yet. I'm giving myself the opportunity to DCA in. So the first wave was half my usual allocation, and then I'm reserving 2/4 percentages for the next 2 allocations per ticker.
Hey, Latter Day, are you still holding those FOMC shares?
I mean, they were so cheap, and I've put so little money into it. It can go down 99%. I don't care.
I was just checking. Yeah,
This
I
means
saw
I
that.
can't buy a cheeseburger from McDonald's.
Yeah, I think even though I have 10,000 shares of it, I think my position's like $3.
Russell plays, for those who are asking, are on half on a double up. I did post them to WallStreetBets, but I think the post is still locked or removed.
Artie, there was some questions in the chat about the Russell rebalancing play. If I remember, it's not supposed to really start until this Friday, though, right? I mean, it's going to happen over the course of next month.
Today is the first rebalancing day. So,
right.
And then the rebalancing runs through to the end of June. So this isn't a 1-week play. Anticipate 2 to 3 weeks of holding.
Right, right.
And because of that, and because of the current bull market that we're in, I only put in 0.5% per ticker that I'm going into, and then the remaining 0.5 I'm splitting into 2.25 percent tranches, so that I can give myself 2 opportunities to average in. Altogether, I'm probably going to have about 15% of capital committed.
Intelligent Place asks, what does rebounce mean? It is rebalance, BALANCE. And we're talking about the Russell rebalancing, the index adds stocks and excludes stocks on a yearly basis to keep the Russell like 2000, etc. And when it does that, all of the fund managers, ETF holders, etc., that are exposed to the Russell will have to buy and sell shares of these companies in order to keep their exposure to the underlying in line with their investment thesis.
And what's it called? The Russell 1000 I'm standing aside from, only because some of these stocks are so big, the percentage of institutional holdings aren't high enough. Can you rephrase Blackfire? I don't understand your question. PST, let's have a look. Yeah, I'd stand aside on UPST. Hard to know if it'll go up or down. It's too early to tell, Blackfire. It's entirely possible the rising tide from SPY will push all these Russell tickers higher in spite of the rebalancing. That's partly why I'm looking for stocks that are at their gamma max and have a history of going down from their gamma max. So I have 2 catalysts, the gamma max move, or the gamma max reaction, as well as the rebalancing selling that's coming from institutions. ADRs can go down and they can go up. In theory, yes, Desmond. In practice, market's been a little irrational lately.
So I talked to my UPS delivery guy regarding a potential strike for United Parcel Service, a driver's strike. And he said that there are some contract issues that the drivers are not very happy with right now, or their current contract has a lot of issues that the drivers are not very happy with. But he also said that he doesn't think the White House will let the strike occur, that they're going to do the same thing with the UPS that they did with the railroad union strike and try to head it off. So there may or may not be a UPS strike coming August, in August.
I have a hard time believing that the White House would intervene on specifically UPS when there's other companies. It's a bit different than the railroad because the railroad workers for all the railroad companies were going to go strike instead of just UPS.
I'm not very familiar with that stuff one way or the other. I'm just relaying what the UPS driver mentioned.
Here's what you got for us.
Crazy 8R377. So actually, the Permian Basin area is having some very large economic issues. It is the highest inflation as of last month. and as of OTC that I'm aware of in the country at 10.25% is what it was. And there is a huge push right now in lobbying for the Permian to start up again. But it's the Dallas finance scene for energy is very odd right now with that. My apologies. It was something about Dallas Fort Worth banking. I'm sorry, my attention has already jumped to another thing. I'm sorry, but it had to do with the cost of living, I believe, dedicated to housing in Texas.
So the Teamsters and UPS, they want air conditioning in their trucks. They want better wages, and they're upset about the pandemic that they made record profits, but they didn't get a piece of the pie. Does that sound correct?
For those with children, I think you can appreciate that I haven't been able to post plays lately, only because this boy here has been very
Very what? What's up, everyone?
News that Noah Erection has taken out Hardy. Morning.
No, I was getting a little
Shorting the.
restless. Someone was asking about PR. You're welcome to look at the cross, but also look at the reaction to the cross. Oftentimes the reactions are very small, too small where you can make money trading options. Size and consistency matters. And you're right, Viridian. Noah is at that stage where he's quite needy and separation anxiety is a legitimate thing. To his credit, though, last weekend, Anita and I went to a wedding without him. So for 2 days, he was with a trusted sitter, and he bawled. Bitcoin, I'm not giving Noah Mountain Duker, but he already has enough energy. Okay, quality. The whole point of half on a double and the thesis that I post there is you look for the situations where the price of the stock, the blue line, reacts consistently with either the red and or the green line. It's the reaction that you're playing. So with Russell rebalancing specifically, the thesis is that ETFs that are rules driven and whose rules can be whose reactions can be forecasted and predicted will be selling into the market. You want to find a situation where a stock is overbought or otherwise likely to go down, so that you have the down action from any other indicator or thesis or trading strategy combined with the selling of shares due to the rebalancing. Hopefully that answers your question. If you have specific follow-ups, let me know. Flatiron, that's near Union Square, right? Or just above it? I occasionally go down to Soho. Blackfire, if the blue and red line are very closely correlated, it basically means the options market is too thin for that particular ticker. You want a distinct, you want the price, let's see if I can find an example actually. So a good example would be Ford. If you look up Ford on half on a double, you'll see that in recent history, whenever it touches gamma max, it almost immediately goes down, maybe 2.5–3%. And so it's the expectation of that reaction occurring where these half on a double plays tend to happen, or that I'm looking for when I'm buying puts against a stock. CHUY. Yeah, the problem with CHUY is that there isn't really much of a reaction. So the fact that the blue and red line don't have consistent like separation and then rejoining, there isn't much of a reaction to work with there. I am working on, well, once I get the nanny situation sorted, I am going to see about building statistics and other historical data or analysis showing the expected reaction based on a specific look back between a stock price and its gamma max or delta neutral. That should go a long way to making sure to filtering out the noisy trades. Coco, you can buy calls on the new editions. The problem is you don't know the volume of share buying. And you also don't know to what extent the institutional ownership will go over 100%. Keep in mind, the puts that I have on individual outperforming tickers within the Russell indices is that they are over 100% owned by institutions, which basically means only institutions own those shares, and therefore only institutions will be selling them because no one else owns them. So you can predict with reasonable accuracy the volume of shares relative to the daily volume that's going to be sold. That's correct, Charming. So you can sell one contract and realize whatever premium. I don't know Constu. It's in no man's land, relatively speaking, compared to gamma max and delta neutral. J-Dog, buying contracts isn't the problem. The problem is selling contracts. So if you sell a call contract, you are obligated to deliver 100 shares of whatever the stock is if the option contract is exercised against you. The whole point of a covered call is to realize premium in exchange for using the shares as collateral. I can sell you some calls. Good price.
Wait.
No updates to gentlemen. The plays have been published to halfonadouble.com. The post on Wall Street Bets was unfortunately taken down by one of the mods. So my anti-canceling measure has been activated. They mean well, but it'll take a while for them to undo whatever was done. That's right, kid. I know. You want to push the button? Bet you do. Here, I got a second microphone so you can push the mute button on that one. Push the other button. Just to paint you a word picture, I have 3 different microphones with mute and unmute buttons, and he likes pressing them all. No, thank you, opinion. All right, there you go. So, multiple microphones, so Noah doesn't know which one I actually need. Full on, you have to keep in mind the downside risk of the price decreasing. Razzie, Reddit has 5% fewer employees than they did about 2 months ago, thanks to the most recent layoffs. What other plays do people have to share?
Yeah, but they went from like 400 employees in 2019 to like 2,000 employees. So they still have a shit ton. And apparently none of those employees are programmers because they had to use Twilio's voice service instead of making their own.
Getting a voice synchronized is not an easy task, especially with that many listeners.
Oh, I know it's challenging. But I figured with 2,000 people, you could probably get it done. Guess I was wrong.
One of those by until you've proven it's a good business model, which it wasn't, apparently. On Stu going long on C3 AI. Okay, Parfait. Adobe has already rocketed. Rocket has very much left the station.
With the Reddit talks, what was the thought there? Were they expecting it to drive more traffic to the site? Because they certainly didn't have any other way to make it where it was potentially profitable.
I think Reddit wanted to increase retention and increase how much time people spend on their platform. So people could like listen in while browsing, and then they wouldn't want to browse away or stop browsing if they're still in the middle of listening to some people talk. I think that was the strategy, but at the end of the day, it's all about showing people ads, because apparently there's no other good business model for social media.
Unless they
Twitter's got
somehow decide to get Reddit Premium to be, I don't know, something that actually is useful.
Well, Twitter's got an interesting model right now. I don't know if you guys have seen that a bunch of posts have hit 1 billion views, which is pretty interesting. That's 3 times more than Twitter has users. It's in the news. They're just sort of inflating their numbers. So that's one plan.
One thing for sure, Elon Musk is definitely taking care of those bots. Am I right?
It's a little bit. I don't know if it's tradable information or if it's market related per se. All these companies are private, although more companies today than ever before, I think, are in private hands as opposed to public markets.
I think the discussion, if we want to try to make that market related, is can that translate to other platforms? I know Reddit's currently private, but they're still trying to IPO, right?
Opinion, how do you feel about being called the landed gentry by the former moderator of our jailbait and current CEO of Reddit, Spaz?
It's not great. No, it's only like I spent like a decade doing this, free. But okay, sure. If you want to call me landed gentry, does that come with like benefits or something?
I don't know. That's what he said at the interview yesterday. It's pretty wild.
I've been reading the articles, reading the comments. I don't think he was ever like. I think back in the day, you could add anyone as a mod, and they would like auto accept. Like it would just automatically happen. So Obama was like a mod of a couple subs. Someone I guess added Spez, but I don't think he actually, did any mod work. I get benefits with the Veteran Affairs. All right, I guess that's worth nothing.
We're still going after you about veterans, huh?
God damn it, Loose. All right, you got 1 minute left. Anyone want to shout out some last minute plays?
You want me to be a doomer, but my headset didn't connect. I'm gonna leave the call. Could you re-invite me? That's all. I'll be right back.
Adobe calls. Yep. It's like the whole.
Oh, somebody else. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was asking if you could just re-invite me. That's all. I'm gonna leave right quick.
Sure. Yeah, lots of people in Adobe calls. I feel like that's the whole chat today. Welcome back, Ickles.
Hi.
Can't hear you. Oh, there you go.
Hi. I'm holding Intel. I bought about 333 shares of Intel, looking positive. And then they also had their price raise, the price target raised from $31 to $38. They're also opening a plant in Poland, and they have a new chip. So they're going to get rid of how we always had the i-Core or the i7, i5. They're also getting rid of that chip, or won't be using that terminology anymore in their chips.
They're just renaming it to Ultra to sound relevant.
Maybe. The earnings call is next month around the 21st to 26th. So I can't wait.
On the 21st, they're also having a forum talking about their foundries, which I think is part of the reason why the stock is running up. I think it's either in anticipation of good news, which is very possible because you can't get worse news about their foundries. But it could be a sell the news event also.
I guess we'll have to find out when we get closer to that date. I do see Intel, however, hitting $40. It's a possibility pretty soon.
Market's open. I've got 270 calls on target expiring in June. Those are up currently nicely. And I've got $600 calls on the SPY expiring in January, which are also up about 7%.
$270 target calls is pretty crazy, dude. I want to.
They were very cheap. They don't have to go up a lot. They don't have to change a lot to make those pay out. But they're, like I said, they're already up 45%.
Good job. I wanted to postulate and piss everybody off about Adobe, and the thought kind of came to me that as they open up this AI where you no longer need the technical skills to be a graphic designer, that it's actually going to hinder their product because less people will need to buy it as they'll need less artists. And I think when the market really digests this, Adobe is going to drop. What do you think of that?
I mean, counterpoint, won't that lead to more people that don't have technical skills getting Adobe subscriptions, which is how they make money?
Well, I'm thinking about all the people who license it out of a need to hire multiple people to get the job done, where now you need less people to get the job done. I'm looking at it more from a commercial standpoint, not a, hey, this is really fun. I'm going to spend $600 on Photoshop because I want to turn it into a hobby. I'm just thinking about the people who actually pay for Photoshop and how they need to now pay for it for less people because it's so effective now. Anyway,
I agree with you in principle, but like I subscribe to the Photoshop cloud service where you get all of their software applications for a monthly subscription, like software as a service. And I think it was like $59 when I signed up, and I haven't looked at what they're charging me probably in over a year, so they could have raised the price on that, and I don't even pay attention to it. But it was pretty cheap to get it. Like the monthly cost for it is pretty inexpensive, and I don't know how it's going to play out. But for me, for companies like the only company that should be mentioning AI at all is NVIDIA. The other companies that are using AI, they need to mention more how they can provide value for their customers through their product. So I'm kind of baffled by how much Adobe shot up, but we'll see what happens.
Carvana there's a retard that bought our Carvana calls yesterday. He's up 250K on his gains, and he had a $27 call. God, that guy's just Carvana right now is at $28.50. Oh fuck! Oh my
crazy.
god! I hope he sold those calls. God bless.
Leaving Leopard, I think you got an interesting take on that sugarcane price approaching a 6-year high. You know, they just lost all their labor for harvesting the sugarcane down there in Florida when they passed their their very strict anti-immigration policies. So, you know, it's rotten in the fields right now. I think sugar is going to get pretty expensive. There's always beet sugar, but the largest exporter of beet sugar was Russia, and we know how that's going.
I used to I used to actually pick up sugar from the sugarcane plant out in, near Lake Okeechobee. And yeah, it's a lot of work to get that sugar processed and even shipped. The largest producer of that would be Domino. So if anybody wants to invest there, you have a plant out in Lake Okeechobee, Domino is your target. Apologies, it's private.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Apparently, it's what that plant is across the Brooklyn River. It's wild. Or across the Hudson and Brooklyn.
I think I have something. Give me a second. I don't know if you're able to invest in this company. Photo Crystals Incorporated is the one who owns Domino Sugar. So but I don't think you're able to buy it. It's all private. Good luck, guys. However, there's a buy effect. So you said that sugar was going to be more expensive, right? So you could buy stocks in Tootsie Roll Industries and Hershey, since they are two of the biggest users of sugar. Zima, great gift. Really, Cane is the ticker for sugar.
I'm really happy with my Coke purchase, like 10 years ago. And they use a lot of sugar. In America, they do.
Coke.
Are we talking about sugar? Like, well, I guess actually they use high fructose corn syrup. Cane sugar is kind of difficult to get into America, and most products nowadays use high fructose corn syrup anyway. It's sweeter, cheaper, dirtier. It's like the crack to the sugar cocaine.
We're doing chilling at this point. You guys think the SPY will hit 450?
Yeah, but I'm pretty impressed with Intel.
Yeah.
And I think that this forum that they're going to have is going to be really really beneficial because I think they're just going to pump the stock. I know that they're starting to get into AI. They got a head of AI development on LinkedIn position filled. I was looking into that. They are talking about a partnership with a group called ARM when
Yeah.
they IPO. AMD, I guess, tried to buy them out and got rejected. So if you're telling me there's a chance with Intel getting in with them, and then there was one other thing. I guess it was just them talking about. And they're also going to start making ARM processors, which is what's in your phone.
That's huge.
And I want them to basically take over smartphones and high computing from TSMC is my goal in the next 5 years. And if they keep on, and the thing about TSMC is because they're only located right now in Taiwan. If the political environment keeps on escalating and getting worse, there's going to be a huge brain drain out of Taiwan. Sorry, there's going to be a huge brain drain out of Taiwan into America, and they're already setting up like neighborhoods, infrastructure to import all these super smart engineers into Phoenix, Arizona, which is where they're building their new plant. But the stock will take an absolute effing dive if there's a war over those. If there's a war over those facilities, because it's like all their collateral, all their money is tied up in those foundries, So I think that's why Warren Buffett even got out. Like he said, like, "Oh, I'm worried about earthquakes." You old ass motherfucker! You did not wake up worried about earthquakes. You know full well what's going on over there, and you wanted to get out. Worried about earthquakes. Like he just heard about Taiwan earthquakes. Like, oh, I just heard about it, and so I sold 20 million shares of TSMC or something like that. Something insane. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, they said that Intel has the capability to be the next TMNC. I heard a member talking about this in the chat a day or two ago.
Oh man, what dummy would say that?
I don't know, but
it was probably me. It was me. Yeah, I'm pretty bullish on Intel.
Me too.
I'm trying to write a DD on it. People seem to like what I write. I'm working on it.
But long term, I think that if this foundry and as well as their earning calls, if they can beat earnings, this stock is going to 45. I think 45 is a possibility, and I would even go as far as to say this could be like a turnaround for Intel, and Intel could finally get caught back up on the race. And if Intel could keep its momentum, we could see a high price like the 40s, 50s, or even 60s going forward.
Well, Intel's got even more tailwinds behind them because they are going to get basically a huge ass government handout, and
I read about that.
yeah, like I was the guy probably saying all this stuff, unless someone has
The news.
finally
I got
started
my.
preaching. I've got a disciple somewhere talking about this, which I appreciate. But Intel has dibs on the latest ASML Extreme UV machine, which is the best one yet. It's the prototype called the High NA, and it'll allow like 2 nanometer chips basically. And China ain't gonna get it because Trump and Biden have both created the China's embargo chip embargo, which means that ASML cannot sell any of their equipment to China. They can't sell any equipment. They can't sell any tooling. They can't refurbish anything. So all the good stuff is going to be here in America, and Intel is on the trusted list of foundries, and it's America's baby anyway. So I'm hoping that I'm right.
For the record,
Buddy.
when Buffett mentioned Taiwan, he said seismic events. He didn't say earthquakes, and I think he meant that metaphorically, not like actual like earthquakes. I think seismic events meaning the threat that China potentially poses to Taiwan. So it's not. I think he meant the seismic events as a metaphor for the trouble with China, not that he's really concerned about like the earth shaking. Just FYI.
I was going to ask, like, aren't they in like the Pacific Ring of Fire? There's always earthquakes going on over there.
That's correct. Yeah. So like he's not like Buffett's not concerned about like actual earthquakes. He mentioned that there's potential seismic events as a metaphor for China possibly invading Taiwan.
I could look this clip up. I'm pretty sure he said earthquakes.
What is this British fire?
I have like retardedly good audio recall, but anyways, it doesn't really matter. I think that I think he sold also because he wants to get into the chip. He wants to expose himself a little bit to these semiconductors. He just chose the wrong one. TSMC was going up pretty good though because Nvidia is going up with it. They make Nvidia's chips, so they gotta be going up with Nvidia.
So if what am I saying? If Taiwan gets invaded, Nvidia is going to take a nosedive, is what you're saying.
Well, first off, I am not saying that China is going to invade Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
The Republic of China is not going to invade the Republic of China, Taiwan. They don't need to. They would just vote. They would just send an email over to Taiwan and say, "Hey, you're part of us now." It's not. It's not like. It isn't like It isn't like America and Mexico. It's like California and Nevada. They're in the
the issue. So they both consider the other illegitimate. So you have the Republic of China, which is Taiwan, and then the People's Republic of China, which is mainland China. Both of them recognize the other as being their territory. So it's not like China, the PRC, is going to say, hey, here's an email saying you're part of us. They're already saying that. They've been saying that for the last 70 years. It's whether or not they will actually use military resources to enforce that.
Yeah, and that's what the United States says. We will go to war. So the question is
yeah,
if
well, if they didn't have those chip foundries, America would not care at all. Taiwan officially is called is officially in the Republic of China. And the status quo right now works. So I know that they've been sending all those emails and stuff, but they haven't. They could, if they wanted to, they could push on the gas and really light this thing off. But they're not because they don't need to. But I hear what you're. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Butterday. I'm just saying that if things could get worse, it's kind of play fighting right now.
Playing games. So that war is at your front door.
Right, so I need someone to short Pac West big time so the price goes down to below $7 by the end of the day today, please. I sold a cash secured put and I'm trying to acquire some more shares. So short the shit out of Pac West, please.
What's Pac West at right now?
$8.09.
Ooh, good luck. I'm looking at the wrong one.
I'd really like to get some more shares at 7.
I think you might be in luck, buddy.
Out of my iRobot position, I had a number of iRobot shares. Those went up nicely as a result of apparently the merger going through with Amazon, so I got out.
Not related to the topic, but GameStop had a meeting, and their CEO just says had like this whole rail against corporate America style meeting. I might be old with this news, but it was really interesting to read because he didn't offer any guidance on where he's taking the company.
Not only did he not offer any guidance, he rug pulled the earnings call.
He sold shares?
No, he canceled the earnings call. There was no.
Oh right. They had a conference or an annual meeting. I think a day or two ago, or some shit.
Did they? But yeah, they didn't have the earnings call. They just ignored it altogether, and they provided zero forward guidance.
That's terrible for the stock.
I know.
Can't tell the apes that though. That's bullish. No guidance. No. He's playing 4D chess. He can't let these hedgies know.
GameStop to the moon. And then he turns around and he buys 400,000 shares or something like that. Like he acquired close to 500,000 shares.
He is so fucking badass.
Cohen did.
Either this man really is playing 4D chess, or he is rugging these fucking apes along.
The market boomed when he became executive chairman, and then it dumped when he became executive CEO, and then he bought 400 or 4,000 shares or whatever he said. Something like $4 million worth, something crazy.
But this entire time that he's been in, the entire time that he was, chairman, he wasn't even buying GameStop shares. He acquired Bed Bath & Beyond and some other shit. So the question now is, why now?
Why now? I don't know. He's a mystery. But he hasn't sold, so that's good.
Yeah, like somebody we know. God, I feel so bad for AMC, bro. God. It's depressing.
See?
AMC. It's depressing to look at, man. It's just...
Why do you feel bad for AMC?
I used to actually have a lot. I was there for the AMC short squeeze. It was great. Turned $3,000 into $15K.
Yeah, I made some good money on them.
Yeah.
And I
but-
still have a bunch of ape shares that I hope convert soon.
Oh, I got a bunch of ape also.
I just think that.
Does anyone know how the attendance is with AMC theaters? Is any numbers on that?
I don't know, but like I think Disney or one of the studios announced that they're going to be instead of going direct to streaming, they're going to release new movies in theaters for 60 or 90 days before they go to streaming. So there
Right.
might be enough in attendance. And like personally, the wife and I, we like to go to movies. Like we don't go see all of them, but like when there's a good movie coming out, we do like to go to the movies and you know, like date night and stuff like that. I mean, it's still
Right.
enjoyable.
Yeah, I wrote about that a few days ago about the movies now. Disney is giving 30, 60, 90. Pixar, instead of putting their $600 million to stream right away, they're giving it 90 days. My buddy's short is in the front of that. Carl's date. Anyway, Disney laid off 75 Pixar and people Disney, but I think they're just trimming. There's not a big no main person at Pixar went bye-bye. So I think that in a little bit, attendance will be moving now up because of that move to 30 to 90 day. That's very important for everybody.
Mongoose, I think that they're out of fat to trim.
I missed that. Say that again. Sorry.
I think they're out of fat to trim. I think they're cutting into their muscle a little bit here.
There's no fat left to trim, yeah.
I think it's just double. No, like Pixar, there's double jobs. They're not double jobs. It's kind of like a Twitter thing where some people were doing certain things that it gets so big that they kind of aren't needed. I think who I saw. I mean, I know who got laid off, and it seems like it was people that were doing storyboard things and stuff of that sort. So I don't know about the fat. I'm just talking about Pixar per se.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, this is the fourth wave of layoffs in the Disney Corporation, and it was bullish the first time, and then everything after that was sort of just like, oof.
Yeah, the Disney side of it, I'm not too sure about. The Pixar side of it, which they own, of course, I know more about with the cuts. So thanks.
Well, it's also the quality of Disney and Pixar movies. Well, Pixar movies are better received. We could take a look at this from Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, for example. And then we can look at what was the fucking movie they was? Wait, that wasn't Pixar. Oh, that wasn't Pixar?
No, dude, that's launched off of Shrek, which was DreamWorks.
I'm so sorry. I confused them.
Okay.
I'm retarded.
No, but you gotta keep going with your point.
Yeah, but
I love Puss in Boots, which
people do love it.
Yeah,
I thought it was DreamWorks. Sorry, dudes.
Okay,
that's my mistake.
Bob Iger said one of his best things he ever did was to buy Pixar, and because Disney was doing so badly with their animation, and once they became what I call Pixar-lated Disney, their movies became, what they are today. So without Pixar, that purchase, Disney would have had a main problem trying to lift up their animation. Oh, they would have stole the technology after a while.
It's her fault that they had to buy Pixar because the guy who started Pixar worked for Disney and said, "Hey, let's do this 3D animation." And Disney's like, "No, you're an idiot." And so he started his own company, and then they bought it from him.
Yeah, there was a big conflict at Disney with Pixar when they were just making stuff for them, and they said they owed them another this, and there was a big conflict. And then Jobs was asked by Iger, asked Jobs, "Can I buy?" And the story is, he said to Steve Jobs, "I got a really strange question." And they say that Jobs loves things like that. When people say, "I have a crazy idea," and he said, "What is it?" And then he told him, and days later he worked it out, and he let him buy Pixar.
Was his crazy idea making good movies?
Yeah, right. Because of Pixar, they did.
crazy, wild idea. Well, yeah. What's crazy to me about Pixar is that they actually had a lot of their stories were already written like 10 years ago. Like Up, Wall-E, they had these things planned out for like a decade before they actually made them.
Today's a
crazy.
red day. It's
Well,
a red day,
my-
boys.
Well, it does about 10 years before about Up. I mean, my buddy is the co-director and the voice of Doug in Up and screenplay. So I don't know about 10 years, but yeah, they have a lot of. You're right. In the beginning, getting it to storyboard and all that. You mean, or in the beginning, way before the movie's made, they have the idea.
Way before the movies even before they even had the technology to make the movies. Not they were like making Toy Story at the time, and they had the idea for like Wall-E and Up, and anyways, it just took a lot of time to craft the stories, and it really paid off instead of going off the first draft like what they're doing nowadays.
Well, they throw a pitch. They throw a pitch out. And then if they love it, they work little boards on it, and then they slowly progress. But if it's the movie being made, that takes years.
Well, it also account for the fact that, I'm sorry, I wanted to get into one of their movies that they released that was a legacy content, but it wasn't really. I don't know. Like, I haven't heard any news-breaking headlines. Was the movie Buzz Lightyear, the Lightyear movie? I haven't really heard much about that movie. And Lightyear has been a thing for Disney for 30 years.
They put 2 lesbian grandmas in that movie so that you would hear about it.
Oh, see, they gotta stop doing that. Like,
well,
they've got to
free advertisement.
Yeah, they've got to stop doing that. Like, we understand. Like, there's a huge fuss over the whole Spider-Man movie because the girl has a Save Trans Kids flag on her bedroom. I mean, they were more subtle with it, but I think that when you kind of, like the whole it's kind of like the Budweiser thing, almost. When you're, I don't know. It's just, I agree with you. It's free advertising.
Here's some trivia. When was the first time blood shown in a Pixar movie?
Does blood ever show in Pixar movies?
Yes, Up, when the guy got hit by Carl.
Ow.
Little trivia for you today here on WallStreetBets.
I will say this. In my experience of stock trading, it is crazy how 1 week I'm a bear, the next day I'm a fucking bull. I swear. You just can't be.
I've been a bear for about 2 days. I can already feel it changing my DNA.
I was bearish on GameStop. My only regret is that I didn't buy GameStop or short GameStop at 27. I didn't short it at 27 or 28. I shorted it at 22, so I didn't get much out of it. Still made about $300.
That's a wild stock for sure.
I knew that earnings call was going to be shit. I didn't expect it to be that much of a dumpster fire, but I knew it was going to be bad. Holy shit. Black Fire, that sounds like a porno, just saying. I think as of right now, bears are fucked.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Short term, yes. Long term, yeah.
Market's been on quite a tear lately. and with these rate hikes being paused, I can see a lot of money moving in because of security in the market and less fear. You can see money moving in, but I also see a little bit of an overhype. We'll see. I sold. I'm not really shorting anything. I'm just looking for a new. I was happy with my gains, and so I sold. Now I'm looking for a new opportunity. And this is the kind of shit that I hear all the time of people like, "Oh man, I wish I would have sold. I was so up. I was up so high." It's like, okay, man. At some point, you got to realize stocks stop going up, and you got to pull the trigger and get out.
Yeah.
And it was a good day. It was a good day yesterday. It was a good day the day before to do that. And it kind of feels weird getting out early, but that's how you make money. In early, out early.
I learned that. I paper traded an option call on or put on GameStop. And I was like, damn, this shit's up 100+%, like 133%. I'm gonna hold it. That shit went to 0.
Are GameStop options still like super juiced?
Fucking no, man. I made good money on it. Like I put $1,000 in there and I made $1,000 out of it. It was $1,000 plus. But then it was like I got greedy. I became a pig. I was like, I'm not happy with this.
And that's the thing. We're in greedy pig land right now. We're at an extreme greed. Buy is launching. I'm just like, you know what? I would feel good selling now, so I did. But I still got a couple of holdings.
Yeah, I'm just after I'm.
I was just going to say, watch out with a bear case, just because rates are already at 5%. If they go a little higher, they'll get what 5.25, 5 maybe. But
yeah,
rates are already at 5%. What are they going to do? They have to lower rates going into the future, regardless. They're going to do it. So why wouldn't you just be loading up on everything? If rates go down, the market goes up. The thing is that is that crash of the market going down, which causes them to raise rates? Is that going to go lower than if you would have?
Someone said they don't have to lower
waited to buy, right? I don't think it's going to go any lower. There's too much currency debasement. There's too much fiscal spending. There's no fucking austerity whatsoever anywhere in our government. There never probably will be. The currency is just going to continue getting debased. Anybody that's like, oh, the market's going to crash, blah, blah, blah. Rates are already at fucking 5%. The market's not going down much further. If it does, it'll be just like in 2020 and before that. It drops. It's like a flash crash because everybody and their fucking mom knows about stock nowadays. So it's gonna bounce in fucking 2 weeks, and then we're off to the races again. So, yeah, you
5%
can trade
historically isn't that bad though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could literally just be DCAing into everything right now and forget about it. Unless you're, you need and if you need the money, yeah, you can make your little options plays and shit. But if you're just trying to make money the safe way, you could DCA into the market right now, and in 10 years you'll be a millionaire.
To be honest, I don't really have a bear case, but I do have a. Wow, this is a very healthy gain in a bullish upswing, and so I'm going to take it.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm surprised that other people aren't doing this. Nobody is doing this. Nobody is being like, oh wow.
It's because a lot of the people in the market don't need the money. They'll just leave their money and they don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's how you lose it.
That's not how you lose it.
Because 15 other people like me are like, oh man, this is really good, and then they all sell, and now you're like, you're left holding the bag,
Well, it doesn't matter what, you got to hold the bag for 1 month, 2 months, and then boom, there's so much fucking inflation, boom, you're back, you're there again. You guys got to remember, the denominator is always getting bigger.
All right, can I get a bear case and a bull case?
Yeah.
Like upcoming days, weeks. I mean,
would say if
the
they
bear
raise the
case is
height.
pretty obvious, right? Like the
On
market is just
the whole
has
market.
been going up for the last 3 months. When is it going to stop?
Exactly.
You guys, the market went up for the past 10 to 12 years from like, what was it, 2011 something, all the way to 2018.
Not even the pandemic even crashed the market that bad because everyone just dumped and bought the dip.
Exactly. That's my point. Like, literally, all you have to do is just buy stocks like dollar cost average, and you're done.
Yeah.
Go down.
All right. So, what's everyone like looking at right now? What do you guys think is going to be your next? I'm speaking to everybody. Like, what do you think is going to be your next move? Possibly, if it goes into like certain.
I mean, I actually have a SPY growth put just in case this growth run drops. And then I'm looking at the semiconductors pulling back because I'd like to get some more of that. I already have like SMCI and stuff, but I want to get some more semi stuff. That's all I'm working on.
After this Intel play, I'm actually going to be moving, so I might be out of the market for a little bit. But when I get back in, I'm probably going to be looking into. I'll probably just see what you guys are investing in. I'll probably loop around there or figure it out. That's about it.
Man.
I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. In the next 2 months or so, I'll probably be bearish after Intel and everything. I'll probably just keep my money in Intel though, and just use every extra capital to invest and go short in other stocks as well, short term.
Yeah, for me, Intel, Ecolabs, FLNG, I think has hit a bottom and now it's going to go back up.
For sure.
They just announced that, or like the EU just took another step to banning all gas from Russian pipelines, which means that they'll need to ship it in, which is what FLNG does. I sold at the top, but I bought back in the bottom, so let's go.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And so that's, and they have a great dividend. And that's the three that I'm playing with right now. And then I'm looking at, I'm not really looking at NVIDIA or Adobe. Not really looking at those.
Yeah, I think they've already played their part. There's still room for growth, but I think that over time it's gonna kind of stagnate. Like,
yeah.
I think that other large companies don't really see what is so special about NVIDIA. Like, if you guys listen to the Oracle earnings call, it was like somebody asked this question of like, what makes something, I don't know, they asked some fucking stupid question, completely unrelated to anything, and they managed to find a way to talk about how their system is better than NVIDIA's, how their AI is better than NVIDIA's. And I was just like, this right here was like a total setup so that you can pump yourself up and try and steal away some of the investors from NVIDIA. And they're not the only ones, by the way. Like, there are other companies who are saying basically the same thing, that like, hey, you're giving all your money over here, but you should be giving it to us instead. Is what the vibe was.
Well, it's all about putting your money where your mouth is. I talked about this the other day, but I said that the way that the idea behind Google Glass was better than the fucking Apple, the Apple headset bullshit, Oculus thing, right? I think that what Apple is experiencing and what Google is experiencing is a technological I would say a wall. Whereas like the design or the original design looks like a normal glasses, right? So when it came down to it, Google had the better design but didn't have the technology that Apple did. And I think that what we might see in the future, right, and we're going to look for is a company that is able to implement such technology that Apple has in its Oculus headset in the frame of your glasses, and your lens and your prescription and everything else included isn't a part of the technology, but allows you to see it through your lens. For example, the technology kind of you ever see those movies where video games where it's like a movie with Ryan Reynolds in? He put on the glasses and he saw this virtual world and power ups and shit. It would be some type of technology in this realm that would really set that off. I think that Google had the foundation, Apple has the idea, but they are both limited by the technology.
Wearables, and they're going to be huge. And
yes,
Intel's going to be in on that, man.
If Intel can cash that in with both a design and the functionality, because right now what's limiting Apple is the fact that Apple's headset is wired, so we need it to be Bluetooth, a battery life. It needs to be lightweight. It needs to be waterproof, even drop proof. You know,
low power.
Low power, exactly.
I'm thinking more along the lines of something like. I'm thinking more along the lines of something like a Neuralink implant. That
I would think this would be the step before Neuralink, because with this technology, you could even and here's how crazy this gets. You could even treat it as a hologram for your phone. This could start looking into hologram technology, because say you put your phone down and they now have it. Well, if everything is already a 3D display in your glasses, you could put your phone down and have your interface pop up from your phone just like a hologram.
I would be too worried about the radiation emitting from all these devices onto my brain. I wouldn't want to do that. But
bro, you hold a phone in your pocket every day. You're emitting radiation on your body.
No, I put my phone. I actually have an arm. I actually have an armband, man. Like my phone holder, it goes around my arm, and I just put it on my arm because I know it actually causes radiation to like rub off on your balls and shit. So I don't do that.
I put them on my balls specifically so that I cannot have kids. Women love it. I don't know if everybody wants a Neuralink procedure though. Do you know?
I think that Neuralink is too far. I don't think humanity would even be ready or is willing to accept that. And this is due to like cultural and religious beliefs. But with the glasses,
they need a guy walk again though.
Yeah, but not everybody's going to accept it as that, because then you have religious belief, and that conflicts with people's religious beliefs. So when you're looking at the technology, you're going to want to say it needs to be something that people can remove, like the glasses, for example. What you're looking at when I say the glasses, you have your prescription lens, and this is going to be a breakthrough. It's one thing to just make a pair of glasses, but when you can make it with your prescription glasses, with your prescription lens, then you have the ability to, for example, I'll go into iLabs or any eye place, and they'll have the technology there. It'll be a frame. You're selling the frame. The technology has to be within the frame. And then your glasses is nothing more but then a black mirror or whatever you want to say, or however it is that you see it in augmented reality world. A lens.
The big objection to Google was social objection. Like people got beat up if they walked into like a public place with the Google Glass on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of social pushback against.
I remember
Google
beating
Glass.
up those nerds.
Not so much technological obstacles. It was social obstacles that caused them to kind of pull it back a little bit.
They said they didn't want a camera everywhere, and it's like
a camera everywhere.
That's so funny looking back, because like there were no cameras everywhere, but now there is. Everybody's got an effing camera on them, so maybe it's more socially acceptable now.
Dude, I want to buy an Nvidia put so bad. Going into next week.
I mean, technically, that's not a bad idea. Fundamentally, it's a good idea.
I would say Nvidia just had a bear trap, so be careful with that. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and go. You guys take care, man. Always a great time to talk to you.
You too, man.
Have
All right.
Have a nice weekend. Have a nice long weekend.
Oh yeah, I'm getting ready to move to Colorado. You guys know how it is. Anyway, take care, man.
Send us cookies.
No,
Send us
man.
Colorado
No.
cookies.
Man, their bakeries are the best. Oh my gosh, man. Literally, the best bakeries in the country is Colorado. All right, now you want to go for best food, you're going to California, But
Send us Colorado cookies and Colorado chocolates.
hell no. The best things have you ever had the tarts? You ever had a tart before, like a fruit tart?
All right, don't start talking about food now. I'm going to get hungry.
Anyways, take care, man.
Have a good one.
You too.
Yeah.
Pac West is down to 791. Got to drop 91 more cents by the end of the day. All right, I got out of my iRobot position.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to sell iRobot.
Well, I mean, I made some decent money on it. I'm not going to get greedy. I'm just happy the deal went through and I got to sell them. I'm also holding ATVI shares. That one is a little more iffy, but we'll see what happens.
There's a few people with their hand raised down there.
Oh.
But I think that wearables are going to be huge. And in order to have wearables, you have to have low power, high speed. And that is what is going to be made by Intel. So I'm bullish. There's actually
had their hands up. Were invited up.
Sorry, I sent the invite for to speak such a long time ago. I forgot what did I wanted to say.
It's okay. You can hang out up here until you remember, and then you can tell us. Sorry about that. I didn't see it.
Some would argue that AI is getting a bearish case right now.
Talking about wearable technology, could you guys check out so we could talk maybe tomorrow more? A company I told you about called Magic Leap, Magic Leap. It's been around a while. And look at their technology and then Apple's, and I'd like to have a discussion tomorrow about it because I think it's pretty interesting. If you want, thank you.
I'll write it down.
Thanks, man. They've been around for, gosh, man, it has to be pandemic, 6, 7, 8 years. They changed their kind of pointing, where they're heading. But in the beginning, just look at it. I could talk later about it. Thanks so much.
It's a private company. I'm not finding any tickers on it.
Oh, no. It is a private company. I'm sorry, guys. My mistake. Yes, it's private. Just read about it. There's online about it, or there's a page about it. And just to look at the technology and what Apple's doing now, I like to talk about that information. It's interesting.
Private?
Wow.
Ugh.
Their headset
sorry.
is smaller than Apple's.
No, it's not that. Read the whole story about them and what happened in the beginning. Try to bring it out to the public. Now they're, but look at the technology, and then there's even people who were using it. They got the goggles way back, and they were using it and showing the spatial stuff. So that's all I mean. Because I'm being amazed at what Apple has out and what Magic Leap tried to do and is doing now for more corporate and military, I think, or things of that sort. Anyway, check out Magic Leap. Sorry, it's not public, but I'd like to talk about it. If anyone has anything to say about it, whenever. Thanks. Bye.
Cool.
I got to
Cool. Definitely a company to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
I like it.
I don't know if it'll ever go public. I'm just saying the technology was way before I was hearing about it with anything to do with Apple and squeezing the screen with your fingers and things of that sort. So I don't know about the company going public ever because it's had some problems. But I'm just mean the technology is very interesting how similar it seems to me. That's all. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Thank you.
No, I've seen the future. And in the future, what we'll have basically like wristwatches that are surgically implanted underneath our skin with leads with like nano-resistive fibers going out to our fingers. And it'll have a second piece to it that we'll call like a slab, which will be like a modern day phone. But this will allow us to have 3-dimensional manipulation of the objects inside of the screen. So like you can have like hand moving forward, hand moving backwards, and it'll free up all of your fingers to basically be moving in a open 3-dimensional space in order to manipulate objects and click apps and all that stuff.
Interesting.
I have a piece of concept art I could show you. The aliens showed me.
Magic Leap. You were saying? Sorry, man. Anyway, Magic Leap was no baby. They got like $600 million or $1 billion in funding. I think even Google and those type of companies gave to them in the beginning. They're huge people seeding money for them. So that's another thing about Magic Leap.
Real quick, I want to touch on Bud Light losing its spot as the world's #1 beer. I had no idea. It was #1 beer, and it was replaced by a Modelo, which is also owned by Anheuser-Busch. But there's some kind of weird licensing deal. I guess in America it's not owned by Anheuser-Busch, but internationally it is. So the ticker Bud isn't doing great, but it's not doing terrible because people are just going after Bud Light and boycotting Bud Light and not buying Bud Light, but they're switching to other Anheuser-Busch products that are probably more expensive or have a better price profit margin. Who knows?
I was actually just shopping yesterday and I saw just regular Budweiser had partnered with Harley Davidson on their boxes, and I'm sure the beers have Harley branding too. I figured that was hilarious. Ace up their sleeve. All right.
Don't ever forget Budweiser and clam juice.
Clamato?
Yeah, I made my big beer drinking buddies who drink lots of it saying, "Hey, look, I'm being healthy," and they started doing that instead.
I'm interested to see the next earning release of Budweiser.
Here.
Boy, doesn't that look like it's overcompensating for something? Harley Davidson Budweiser. A real man's beer. Anyways, I didn't mean to, dude. We were getting off topic, and I'm already regretting bringing this up.
THC in Bud.
Soon.
Does anybody have any comment on like Chinese EVs lately? They're up 23% this week.
Yeah, I think if it goes up, like let's say XPeng, right? I want to short XPeng.
I like it, but
just Chinese stuff in general, dude. Like I think that shit is cheap. You know, like the stocks, they're very predictable. They go up, very heavy. They go up, and then once they go up, once they start going down, there's really no saving them. They just start going down. That's when you could probably short them, right?
They do have a bottom, though. They have a very solid bottom because the Chinese CCP will come in and save them. Actually, 1170 is about XPeng's limit. Like what I do with XPeng is like my cost basis is somewhere like $8 or something. No, probably about $9, and I will sell covered calls on them because they are like a third. They act like a triple leveraged Neo. Like when Neo goes up 5%, XPeng will go up 13%. And yesterday, I actually sold a covered call, like a buy right. I sold it expiration July 14th, 2023, and like for 90 cents. And so I've got a whole 90 cents of wiggle room to mess around with. And
Yeah,
it's
this
pretty
is this is like a key moment for China in general. Like all those Chinese stocks. If we break out here in China, it could literally go up to the upside for a little bit. And if that happens, then yeah, I would just wait until it kind of tops out.
And it was Neo's earning call. Maybe it was XPeng's. I call it XPEV because that's the ticker. XPEV. X-ray Papa Echo Victor. I was saying that on one of their earnings call, they were saying how China was coming back, how everything was like starting back up in China, and because China's a producer nation, they can bounce back faster and harder. But I've been saying this for months, and I've still not seen a very good like movement on these things at all. Like not nearly what their all-time highs were. XPEV used to be trading at freaking $32. Now it's $11.72, and before that, even it was around 56, $46. They have modular buses, which is what Ryler's all about with his re. I meant to talk to them about that. It's like totally understandable to be bearish on this though at this price. I just think that China should be coming back. They should have been coming back for a while, and I'm surprised that they haven't. And maybe this is the start of the uptrend.
Yeah, maybe. If it's the start of the uptrend, then I'll just wait until it tops out so I can short it. But I wouldn't be bearish at this moment probably because it could go start to the uptrend, and if that happens, then yeah, no, I don't know, man. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm kind of the belief that when the uptrend starts, XPEV is going to go up to about $30.
If the uptrend starts, I don't think XPEV is going up to $30. I think Neo could probably touch like 15-ish, but maybe 20-ish. But any more than that, I think it's going to hover between 15 and 20. I don't know where that puts the XPeng, but
I'm not saying 30 because I'm analyzing the stocks like their financials and all this other stuff. I'm saying it's because it's a manipulated Chinese company. But they do typically move together, and they've been having a great week. And they've promised that they're going to start increasing sales and stuff. And they're backed by the Chinese government. And they've been due for a bit more of an upside breakout. So we'll see.
I mean, the whole market is just rocketing up. So I think Chinese markets usually follow, right? Usually. So if that's the case, then the markets should follow.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a while, and I've just been wrong.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Honestly, I think Tesla's a safe bet. Just wait for Tesla to pull back. Once it pulls back to, let's say, right now it's at 261. So if it pulls back to, like, I don't know, 200, maybe 220, 215-ish, probably that's a buy, right? Probably buy around that area.
Thanks for everything, guys. Take care.
All right, take care. You guys know Independent? He comes on here sometimes. Independent.
Independent Air?
I think he has like his alt name is Max Payne. But anyways, he was talking about how he was gonna buy Leaps and stuff for Snapchat, because like Snapchat has a lot of institutional buys and stuff. So the options that he was gonna buy were a whole year out, like let's say 128 days out, or 126 days out, or like 217 days out. So those are Leaps, and he's buying them at a $15 strike price. But
does he have that Road Warrior villain as his profile pic?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That guy's
Because Snapchat's got a bunch of institutional buying.
Yeah, it does actually. It has a lot of institutional buying. I just
No
don't.
shit.
I don't see a
Well, if
bullish
they ban
case for
TikTok in
Snapchat.
America, I could see that being very bullish for Snapchat.
That's true.
Is that his play?
No. He said he doesn't really know his play, but he's hoping for some good news in the future. But he said that he was doing technical analysis and he saw that 2-day moving averages were just bound to like break out. So he saw like a pattern, and then he said that it might just break out soon. But I told him that it's kind of risky, but
Not really a technical guy. A little bit. I use technical analysis for entries.
I like to play around with options to try to maximize my profit and minimize my loss. That's the type of stuff that I'm into with options.
Decibel saying that the Disney CFO just quit. Yeah, well, let's see about that. I'm bearish on Disney, and I've been telling people not to get into that thing.
I don't know.
Goddamn, Disney CFO steps down. Huh, and it had 2.2 million shares bought after hours. This could be bullish.
Imagine buying calls out the money. Woof. And if it hits.
Yeah, this looks legit. I've talked about how Disney's in trouble till I was blue in the face on here. People in the chat can fill you in. But what I was waiting for was specifically people being let go from the board. And it looks like it's starting.
I just wouldn't, at these levels with Disney being at like $91, I wouldn't be bearish on it. Just because it's too risky.
No, I'm not actively shorting it. I am actually anticipating a bit of a pop for Indiana Jones, and then I'll probably short it just a little bit. But I'm certainly not buying because the stock's not going to go up.
No.
Dead. It's riding off of their cruises and their parks at this point. Up, looks like the market did not like the news. Down 1.07%. Hopefully, I've saved people money by convincing them not to buy it. Because everybody wants to go long because they're like, oh, well, it's been beaten up and it's down so much already. That's not a bullish case here. You know, they're actively sabotaging your company.
You know, so much for AI being, all hype and shit. Today is really not looking too crazy for them, is it? I mean, look at Nvidia; it's only up like what, 1%.
Hello, hello. Uh, is there anyone I could talk to, or am I just talking to the whole world right now? All right. Well, I'm assuming I'm talking to the whole world right now. I just bought the stock, right? All right. Cool. No worries. Alrighty. So, I am so new in the stock market, my dude. It's like less than a month in, right? But I've always wanted to do it. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Yeah, schizo hour. That's absolutely right. Let's fucking do it. Yeah, man. Who doesn't want to fucking get rich sitting at a computer, right? So, I just wanted to ask about this one stock. I don't know where to show y'all. Hold on, let me figure that out. You could look it up. The symbol, whatever you want to call it, it's ONCR. This bitch was at 7 cents. When was that? Yesterday? Today it's at 31. I just bought 300 shares. What's your guys' thoughts on that? I'm gonna need a picture of your credit card. Oh, okay, I got you. Hold on. Yeah, that one. Exactly. Homie knows what's up. So, yeah, tell me. All right, well, I'm talking about its highest was 31. Thank you, sir. I'm not just pulling numbers out my ass. And it was at 31 at 9:30 this morning. The ticker's ONCR on Chorus. Sorry, my friend just came in. But I'm on Webull because I'm a fucking basic bitch.
You have a large enough account to day trade? You know,
Fuck no.
if you try to make more than 3 trades a week, then you
Oh well, yeah, that's true, but that is true. Yeah, I did buy in after a 200% run up. Yeah, but I've already made a couple dollars. Yeah. I'm thinking about selling it like right this second because I've already made like $8 in profit within the 20 minutes that I bought this shit. Yeah, I agree.
So funny, man. I'm big WallStreetBets space.
I know.
It was a subreddit exclusively for Lost One for a long time. I remember watching it for a long
Right.
time. It was incredible losses.
Oh. Okay, I see that. I only put in... How much money did I put in? Alright, I'm retarded when it comes to this shit, so I don't know how to check how much you bought it at. Or how, you know, how much the total price was. I'm making money right now. Like, I haven't lost anything. I don't know. I agree. I think I should just wait. Or I should just sell right now, maybe, yeah? Yeah. Get out. Fuck! What if this shit gets big? I don't know. I feel it in my dick. I think it will. It's already up 3 cents since I bought it. I don't know. Y'all think I should buy? Like, you think I should sell right now? Tell me, people. This shit was so fucking silent. It's ONCR. Thank y'all.
They're liquidating, so it's a bankruptcy
Right.
play.
I hear that, but
you can hold it for a while if you want, but most likely people are going to cut and try to get all the money out of it. So I would set a stop loss if you want to let it run. That way you at least secure some profit. But
you're using all these big words now, man. You gotta talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old because I'm that experienced in this shit right now.
all right, just wire me your money. I'll take care of it.
You're a good man.
Now,
Hey,
so
so
a stop loss is basically a sell, like at a point. So if the price falls below that, it will sell it for you.
yeah,
So basically, you don't have to sit there and watch it. If you just want to let it run, then let it run, but put a stop loss so you secure profits. Or you cannot, and then you come back in 10 minutes or an hour or whenever it fucking tanks and realize you
Yeah.
just lost all your money.
yeah, right. Okay, so I just figured out how to see how much I bought it at. I bought it at $51. If I sold it right now, I could sell it at 70. I made
So
20
sell
bucks
it, go-
for.
So
I don't
sell it
know.
and go get lunch.
You think so?
Fuck
Y'all
yeah,
think I
dude.
should do it? Fuck yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean? You just paid for lunch today. There's people out there that just lost their house. Come on.
You do have a point. All right. So I should just sell it at like a market order, right?
Sure.
I don't know. What would you do? I'm asking for tips. I'm fucking dumb.
I would put in how many shares I have and hit sell.
But limited to what?
$1 million.
Hold on. I know, right? Yeah, can you tell I'm new? Fucking hell, man. Yeah, it just went down since we fucking spoke. Yeah, alright. God damn it. Yeah, I'm just gonna like sell it in market right now. Yeah, fuck it. I would have made 20 bucks. Fuck it, let's do it. Oh, if I had just sold it like a second later, I would have made like a couple more dollars, but it's sold, guys. Thank you.
That's trading with your heart. You can't do that. You'll lose all your money.
All right, so yeah, I made 20 bucks.
Trade with your
Something
nuts.
like that. It was 7, but still, I don't know. I did just buy lunch, but fucking hell, man, that was scary. How do y'all do this? I don't understand.
I take my life savings and I YOLO it. That's how I do it.
Well, I made money from that, so that's cool. I was slowly going into the negatives with some other stocks I bought, and I just like, now I'm like $4 lost in total. So
Yeah, anytime
There
you
you
hear
go.
liquidation, a lot of people will try to buy in just to run it up real quick. And then sooner or later, whoever has the most shares is going to sell and leave everybody with the bag. So what I
So
do for
people-
those, I get in, I take 10, 20%, go buy lunch, and then never look at it again.
True. So I might just do the same thing. I'll just buy it at a limit when it goes down. I don't know though.
I wouldn't keep returning to those. I would try
No.
to find something new.
Yeah.
And then have your safe plays, and then have something that's like cyclical where you can buy calls at a low and buy puts at a high.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't play with options if you're shitting your pants over stocks. Get a paper,
No.
get a paper account first, and then trade with fake money. See how well you do, and then trade with a 0.5% of whatever you started your paper account with.
I just don't understand how real that is, because like if you're putting like, so like in my fake account, how much did I put in? I bought a bunch of Nvidia stock and I made like 5,000 off of it. Hold on, how much did I make? But that's Nvidia, like that we know that's going up. I just don't have $435 to spend on the stock, you know what I mean? I see what you mean though. I could probably just practice with like penny stocks or whatever and see where that goes, but aren't all the numbers fake since I'm affecting the fake market with my fake money? Like, how accurate is it, you know? That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. That's trust, man. Fuck it. Can't trust it. Don't trade it.
Yeah, no, you're right. I trusted this stock. I made a little bit of money. I don't know. I just got to keep playing around with it. Anyways, yeah, I appreciate all y'all's help.
You could join a huge company and then insider trade.
Yeah,
That's a good way to make money.
that is true. That's if I want to work for a company like that. I don't even know what kind of.
I think with the fake market, it's because I did that before. It's delayed. I want to say by about like 20 minutes to the actual market, but it should be real numbers.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if you're putting in a bunch of fake money in it, it's not gonna like actually register with the real market. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna affect the real market, so you won't be able to truly see how your fake money is doing if it's going off of like the real stock market, if that's the case.
You could always add things to a watch list and then have it show you what you added it at, and then see the gains or losses that way too.
That's true. Yeah, I'm gonna take a break from this. I just wanted to get y'all's opinion on that. I really appreciate the helping the newbie go through this fucking whirlwind clusterfuck. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. Till next time. Peace.
How's everyone's portfolio looking?
Any of y'all got any opinions on Truist?